You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Grey's Anatomy star emerges as possible emergency candidate as scandal rocks Senate race, based on an article by Tom Bogany. Maine's Senate problem is not a celebrity problem. Graham Platner is reportedly on the way out after a Politico report on a rape accusation shattered his Senate bid, and Democrats are now scrambling under a deadline to replace him against Susan Collins. The Maine Wire then floated Patrick Dempsey as an emergency candidate, as if statewide politics can be patched together by importing a familiar face and hoping the donor class mistakes recognition for competence. Power stayed where it was. The actual institutional power in this story sits with the party apparatus, the donor pipeline, and the incumbent Senate seat Collins already holds. Platner's campaign is not collapsing because the electorate issued a verdict, it is collapsing because Democratic leadership and financiers withdrew support once the damage became politically unbearable. That is not neutral process. It is gatekeeping under pressure. The party that was willing to elevate him is now the same party deciding, in real time, whether he survives or disappears. The voters are being asked to watch a rescue operation that should never have been needed. The real decision was made long before the report. The key failure is not the last-minute search for a replacement. It is the original decision to build a serious Senate strategy around a candidate who could be destroyed by one major investigative report. That is a recruitment failure, a vetting failure, and a judgment failure. Once the accusation surfaced, Democrats pulled endorsements and money. That may be politically necessary, but it also exposes how little substantive preparation was there underneath the campaign branding. A Senate race is being run like a speculative venture. When the asset breaks, everyone rushes to limit losses. Celebrity is political sedative. The Dempsey speculation is pure misdirection. It offers the oldest fantasy in modern politics, that name recognition can substitute for organization, policy credibility, and a real campaign structure. A wildcard celebrity is not a solution to a damaged race. It is a way for elites to pretend the problem is branding rather than institutional weakness. The framing also flatters the lazy instincts of political media. A famous actor is easier to discuss than the fact that Democrats may have to assemble a statewide Senate campaign from scratch in 2 weeks. That is not strategy. That is panic disguised as innovation. Collins benefits from Democratic fragility. Susan Collins does not need to do much here. Her advantage is structural. The opposing side is trapped in emergency mode, while she remains the incumbent with a functioning campaign position and the luxury of watching Democrats burn time on replacement talk. This is what weak opposition looks like in practice, not a dramatic collapse, but a sequence of preventable errors that hand the incumbent a smoother path. The story is not just about one candidate's implosion. It is about a political environment in which one party can still look orderly while its opponent improvises under deadline. The pattern is recruitment without accountability. The deeper pattern is familiar. Democratic politics keeps mistaking access, charisma, and local glow for durable legitimacy. Then, when the candidate melts down, the party acts shocked that a campaign built on shallow foundations cannot survive scrutiny. That is the larger lesson here. Elite political systems reward speed, convenience, and marketable personalities, then call it democracy when the structure breaks in public. The result is not just embarrassment. It is a weaker opposition, less accountability, and another reminder that parties cannot improvise their way out of strategic rot. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Sam, thanks for listening.